Good morning, fifth grade. Since many of us are winding down with our research, and you might have noticed in your Google Slides that there is a place for my sources. So we've done sources before, but it's been a while. So we're going to use our worksheet to help organize ourselves before we go and look at putting everything together into our Google Slides. So you will need to first go to your bookmarks and open up one of your sites that you used to find your research facts. Then you're going to fill out one of the boxes. Remember, sometimes with websites, we don't always find every piece of information, so we're just filling it in as complete as we can. So we're looking for author's name, title of web page, the name of the website, date it was published, the URL, the date we accessed it, and then putting together finally what should that look like when I type it in my Google Slides. So I'm going to give you time now to get one of your websites organized. I would say 5 minutes max to get that done. So go ahead and open a site and gather all your information for one of your sources. Alright, so hopefully you have all of your information written down, and now we're going to go over, just kind of as a refresher, what that final website citation should be and how all of that works. So for my example one, and you can see I have up our slides here from when we did this last semester. So a refresher of the order of things, it's exactly the same order as on your paper, so trying to just make it easy. I didn't have an author's name, so that means I'm just going to skip it, and then I'm going to move on to the title of my web page. So I'm just going to come back so you guys can see that. So the title of my web page is The Washington Family. And then next we want the name of the website. So the name of my website is George Washington's Mount Vernon. And also remember that I'm putting periods between each of those. Then the next thing we want is the date published. This is one that we don't want to just skip over like we do with some of the other areas. So since I could not find a date published for mine, I'm going to put N period D period for no date. If you have your date, you will go ahead and type that in. Like, let's see, we did not have a date for this example one. So that's where the ND comes in, followed by a comma. And then next is the URL. So if you're just writing it down right now and you have a super long URL, that's okay. You don't need to worry about copying it. However, when I move this over to my Google Slides, I could easily just come and copy and paste this, right? I could highlight that if it was super long, or even if I don't want to retype it, to be able to paste it over into my slides. And so then after that, it's going to be the date access. We'll just use today's date because we're kind of going and verifying the information's still there. So as the teacher, I know we could use today's date of April, 11th, 2024. And then I have one citation done, and then I would go and work on my next one. But that's just on the paper side, right? I still need to get it to my Google Slides. So remember last week we determined we had to go to our Google Drive in order to open up those Google Slides. So if you want to be able to do that now. Alright, so in my Google Slides, each of you have your own page for your sources. So you would need to find the correct one. So I'm just here on slide 7. And then I would be looking at my final website citation and just copying that over here. So that whoever actually looks at the presentations would be able to see that. So I'm just copying it down exactly as it was written. Here's where I have to put in my website. So like I said, if you have a super long one, you could copy and paste it over. Mine isn't too bad, so I'm just going type it. And then finally, my date. Alright, so that's my first source. I would enter down 2 times and begin my next one. So that is the goal for today, to get all of your sources found and typed into your presentation. If you need to, you can make the font smaller, 30 is pretty big, or just make another slide called My Sources. Either way will work for me.